So my first question is, what are the benefits of estrogen, and why is it so important?
So the benefits of estrogen, well, it's an important regulator for cardiovascular health, neurological health, erectile health, libido, etc. So it's important for, like I said, that balance of homeostasis too, to have testosterone and estrogen very balanced in the body. So it sustains its metabolic functions on an equivalent, with offsetting anything. And I kind of mentioned this in my other video, a previous video, a few videos back about why SARMs are so bad, okay? And I don't want to get too off topic here, but SARMs imposes that imbalance and basically yanks estrogen down to where it offsets that balance. And when you negate estrogen or inhibit it in any kind of way with any kind of drug or whatever it is, exogenous hormone that is, you're going to offset that balance and create havoc on the body. So hence it goes back, like I said, the cardiovascular health is inhibited, the neurological health is hurt or punished. It's deleterious to that. And erectile health, okay, libido, etc. So these metabolic functions and these things are very important, obviously, to keep in balance and keep in harmony. So estrogen is very important.
Now, concerning the role of aromatase, why is it inhibiting aromatase so bad?
So inhibiting aromatase in general can be deleterious to the body for several reasons, going back to why estrogen being low is a bad thing or why estrogen is important. So it goes back to the first question. But number one, it's very neurotoxic to inhibit estrogen or inhibit aromatase, along with a slew of other reasons, like I said, but it goes back to why estrogen is very important for the body.
What's a good estrogen level to have relative to my total testosterone level? What's a good balance to have? A good ratio?
So a good balance, first you'd have to start with how do you measure these things, okay? How do you measure it in blood work? As blood work being the proxy. So first of all, testosterone is always usually measured in nanograms per deciliter. When you're looking at the measurement of estrogen or estradiol or E2 to be specific, it's going to be always measured in picograms per milliliter. So you can see right there that there's two different math equivalents on how you measure the two. But you first start with those two bases, picograms per milliliter in estradiol or E2 concentration levels, nanograms per deciliter to measure testosterone or total testosterone. Now, if you break this down like per day on how much is produced, between 30 to 50 micrograms of estradiol is produced per day. Okay, 30 to 50 micrograms. So that's roughly around 40, 40, 45, 50, like I said, micrograms per day. 3 to 10 milligrams, okay, milligrams this time, of testosterone is produced per day on a healthy man. So 3 to 10 milligrams testosterone, 30 to 50 micrograms of estradiol is produced per day. So basically around 5 to 10 micrograms of estradiol is produced in the testes. That's roughly like, 10 to 20%, something like that. And then the rest, between 80% or so, 80 to 90%, is produced in peripheral tissues, adipose tissues, muscle, and bone. So typically in general, the ratio is going to be about 100 to 1 of testosterone to estradiol. But this is not like an exact figure when it boils down to seeing it on blood work and seeing it converted from nanograms a deciliter to picograms per milliliter. It's a little bit different. Now, also kind of important to note, the 100-to-1 ratio doesn't really apply on a blast. If the guy is doing a super high physiological dosage of exogenous hormones or super high levels of test. So for instance, he's doing 500 or 750 milligrams of testosterone and other exogenous hormones. That balance will be definitely skewed, and there's no 100-to-1 ratio. It's definitely going to be way off measurement due to the fact of things being in superphysiological levels and not being at a homeostasis normal endogenous level of testosterone levels. So it basically means aromatase doesn't really function on a dose dependent manner. So basically, like the rule of thumb that if we use the measurements that we use for estradiol in the blood for picograms per milliliter compared to the units that we use for the measurements of testosterone in nanograms per deciliter, about 5% of picograms per milliliter of estradiol relative to the total testosterone of nanograms per deciliter. So basically, this goes back to that 600 nanograms per deciliter of the average man being at that total testosterone level. If he has about a 600 nanograms per deciliter, 5% of that 600 would be 30 picograms per milliliter of E2 or estradiol concentration levels in his serum blood, okay? That's how you kind of depict that measurement. If we extrapolate and go 800 nanograms per deciliter, if you divide 5% into 800 of his nanograms per deciliter, that comes out to 40 picograms per milliliter as an equivalent to estradiol concentration in his serum compared to the level of total of nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. When you boil it down to blood serum concentration levels, it's not really 1 to 100 anymore. It's more like coming up with the conversion of 5% out of the total nanograms per deciliter comes back to being estradiol over E2. Hey, thanks for the questions. I really appreciate it. That being said, I want to continue with making more videos with these questions and answers, but much appreciated. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate the audience that I have. You guys are very dedicated to me and you continue to be. And I will continue putting out more videos and more educational videos on testosterone and PEDs and bodybuilding. And please hit me up on the comment section. Really, really important, you know. Even write me or ask what kind of videos that you want to see, whether it be on a certain PED, certain things about nutrition, exercise physiology, training, how to get big, how to get smaller, how to get lean, whatever, you know. Throw out the questions. I'm always open-minded to hearing things from you guys on an open aspect of things. So there's nothing that I don't want to hear, okay? So don't stay quiet. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care.